Hi. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Yeah, I just got off with doing an interview with one of my crystal skull keeper friends, but I wanted
Okay.
to tell you that I have all the time in the world tonight. So
Okay, Joan.
things
Thank
have
you, dear.
changed, and
Yeah, thank you so
so
much. We've got people waiting for us here. And so I was afraid, I looked back at it and I realized that 11 o'clock here is 6 o'clock in London, right?
yeah.
And so we weren't supposed to, we thought it was 11 and 7. So thank you for being here. Thank you.
Oh wait, isn't it 7? It's 7 o'clock here.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Because when I looked
Yes.
up Greenwich Mean Time, it said it was 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Maybe that's in the winter or something. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know
okay.
either. You know what? I totally screwed up on time today. I think it was my destiny. Everything I did today was at the wrong time. Told
Uh-huh.
people I was interviewing them at the wrong time. But you and I, fate has brought us
Brought
together,
us together. And
right? At
all
the
these
right
lovely
time
people. Yeah.
and the right
Oh,
place. So I'm
oh,
very happy for
that's
that.
nice.
And happy
Yeah.
to meet you.
Happy to meet you too.
You have such an
Everyone's,
unusual name,
I
Ali.
know. Well, it's Alice Lee, put together when I was in high school to make one name, because my mother and I would get phone calls from people and they'd say, "Is Alice there?" And then we'd have to say which one and da da da. So I changed my name to make it easier for us.
I love it. I love
Thank
it. I
you.
love it. I have to
Thank you
get
so
my
much.
earrings on, guys.
Okay.
I just
Take your
Yeah,
time. It's
I
okay.
had to reboot for today for this interview. I'm so happy to be here. I
Yes.
love that you are heart and soul connected.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to have found you through Terry at Holding Your Space. She's just a sweetheart, and I don't know that I would have found you right away if it hadn't been for her interview with you. So thank you, Joan.
Oh, you're so welcome. You know what? You reached out right after that interview, and it really touched me. And you know,
Oh,
I'm just meeting new people, and it's
uh-huh.
very exciting to me. There, I got
Yes,
my light.
yes. Oh, Terry, that's funny. Other Terry, we have pure visionary, psychic medium. Does anybody really know what time it is? Perfect. Because time, I don't know if you've noticed it yourself, Joan, but time is like either compressing or expanding. It's
Right.
not, yeah, it's been very strange. It really, really has. So, I want to make sure with you, people are already asking about connecting with angels and guides. Are we going to have time to do that later? Can you
Yes,
do
you know
that
what? I
later?
have longer than I thought, and
Okay.
I
Okay.
want to. I've been stepping into new work. Spirit has given me new gifts, and I'm eager to
Wonderful.
share them. Yes, yes, yes. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. So I know that you are a doctor of chiropractic, and that it just blew me away because my husband, of course, is one. And we're not spring chickens. I mean, he went to Palmer and graduated in the early '80s, and so he's kind of wanting to wind this career of his down, but he just is so good with the patients that he's still doing it. But I see you went from there into counseling.
Well,
You have one life to do it all.
so actually, I got my master's in counseling before I became a
Oh,
chiropractor. And the
oh,
funny part about it is that I didn't think anyone would come to me as a therapist. It hadn't dawned on me that I'd have to build some kind of therapy practice, and I was sure no one would ever come to me. And
uh-huh.
I was in a spiritual ashram in Los Angeles then, and I went to this workshop, and they say, well, what are your intentions? And I said, well, I want to know what I'm here to do. What should I be doing? And I heard a voice in my head said, go to chiropractic school.
Okay.
And I had gone to a chiropractor as a young girl when I had scoliosis, and I had a great experience, but it was like, go to chiropractic school. So the next day, very next day, Terry, I went and I found the school, I enrolled. And when I got home, there was a check in the mail from my grandfather's estate that was the exact amount of the tuition.
Oh my
And the check
Lord.
was like $873, something like that. And
Right.
by the way, I practiced longer than your husband, just so you know.
Uh,
But but it was a confirmation to me, like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do. But it never dawned on me I'd have to build a practice. It
Yes.
sort of didn't even dawn on me. It was just like, okay. And then
Right.
the energy of becoming a doctor. Chiropractors in this day and age, I'm not here to talk about the chiropractic, but in
No,
this
I
day and
know.
age, it's really
Yeah.
important. And I'm guessing that he's sort of like an old timer and that he understands the power that made the body can heal the body.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so much has been pharmaceuticalized and all of that stuff, that it's really important to get back to basics, that the power that made the body can heal the body. And that's what
Correct.
your husband does.
Uh-huh.
And so, do I see him retiring? I think he could slow down a little bit. He might want to
Yeah.
slow down and have a couple of days to himself for fun,
Mm-hmm.
but he's
Mm-hmm.
probably still needed, because the new chiropractors coming out don't know what the old timers know.
True. That's
I
very true.
noticed that they were
Yeah.
more medicalized. It's the only way I can say it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. That's very
you
true.
might as well be going to a medical doctor in some
Uh-huh.
way.
Yeah.
When one of them recommended ibuprofen and Advil, I thought I would shoot him. So,
I get it. I totally get it. Yeah. I
right?
do. Oh my
So
goodness.
tell your husband I appreciate everything he does. If I ever get to where you are, I hope he'll adjust me.
Of course he will. You know he will. And he'll want one back if you can still do it. Yeah. I'm sure you can. It's muscle memory. You already know how
Oh
to
yeah,
do all
no.
that. Yeah.
Once you're a chiropractor, it's
You're
really
always
for
one.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I was in my early 30s, I was told I was here to heal and inspire millions of people. And that's why I've stepped more into being a mentor and a speaker
That's
and doing
wonderful.
healing online and reaching out to more people, because I
Yep.
would get frustrated adjusting one person at a time.
I
Okay. It was
understand.
like, oh my God, how do I reach more people to
The
do this
masses.
healing and awakening?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the other unique thing is, so I did my neck adjustments sitting up, constant. And
Mm-hmm.
every time I adjusted a patient, I would say, we've just turned your power on. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking to a client after the session, and I said, well, we have just turned your power on. And then I realized I've been saying that to my clients in sessions, just like I used to do it in chiropractic. And then I got that aha moment of how it's
Uh-huh.
all come together.
It does.
You know,
Everything comes together. That's so interesting about getting that message, because in my 30s, I got the message that people would be coming to me in my home. And of course, I didn't get it. I'm like, who's coming to me in my home? And now I realize that it's my channel. And yeah, so, it really made sense after thinking about it over time.
as a
So I
matter of fact, I
understand.
see all those crystals behind you. And
Uh-huh.
now I know why they come to you in your home.
Oh, yeah. This is my little fun. And these are actually all cards that I have laminated up here, and a little lights, and it just makes it feel really warm and cozy. So yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
I love it. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, well, thank you, Joan. So what brought you to England? What brought you to London?
Well, about a year. So I've been going through my own activations. I should start with that. I'm
Uh-huh.
what they call a 33 aspect walk-in soul.
Oh,
Only it's taken me 32 upgrades because I was that fractured. My soul memories from being tortured and maimed and falling,
mhm,
energetically, and really challenges that I had faced kept
mhm,
me from really remembering my soul destiny.
sure.
And each time I had another upgrade, it took 32 upgrades until I stepped into this more of this complete package of being an angel of light, an angel of, I do cosmic activations now. And
Hmm.
I help people step into their power. I help people remember why they're here.
Okay.
And so about a year and a half ago, or about 2 years ago, I started working with my friend Neil Gar from Portal to Ascension. And
Okay.
he does online webinars, and now we're doing in-person webinar conferences as
Mm,
well. And so I started working with him, and then about 6 months later, he calls. He says, "Look, Joan, I want you to work more. I want you to work more with me." And so,
good.
and he encouraged me to leave my home in the desert. I had been feeling very stuck in the desert, Palm Springs area. In
Uh-huh.
fact, I was told to go to channel the guides, but I knew I was supposed to leave, but I was so stuck, I couldn't figure it out. So he calls me and he says, look, I'm renting a place up in Mount Shasta. Why don't you leave your place now? Put everything in storage, leave your place, and let's go work together and just do that. And he had started to make plans for some in-person conferences. One was in San Diego, and then he was planning this one in Glastonbury. So my daughter lives here in London, so I planned a trip to London, and then I plan to help him with, help co-produce the Glastonbury conference, which is coming up in August. Now, but then I don't know, then our friend Alan joined us, and Alan and Neil had always wanted to do an Egypt tour. And before you know it, we planned this Egypt tour, which we've sold out this year, but we're going to open one for next year. We're doing 2 tours back to back to Egypt.
Wonderful.
And I've been awakening my memories as Hathor, as the goddess Hathor in Egypt. My mother came to me and told me I was a direct descendant of Cleopatra. And I've started embracing those memories of Atlantis and Egypt, Hathor. So 2 tours back to back are the grandest initiation to experience. But that's not even it. Oh my God. And then I got the hit to go to Greece. Now, my first vision, I was with a gorgeous goddess. I was 30 years old, and I was in a visioning workshop. And it never happened to me before in that way. But suddenly there was a divine, amazing angel behind me. I was dressed like an angel, and we were on the stage at the Colosseum, the Greek Colosseum. And millions of people were lined up crossing in front of me and dropping their wheelchairs, their crutches. They were crawling, and then they'd be standing, and they would heal. And the message was, you were here to heal and inspire millions of people. Well, in the September 30th, I fly into Athens, and my hotel is right across the street from the Colosseum. We can see it from the rooftop deck. And I'm going to go probably the next day. Neil's coming too. We're going to do a lot of video. And then it's not just going to the Colosseum where I had these ancient memories, which is really exciting. I've had visions as the Oracle of Delphi, swimming at Delphi, etc. And so I'm also doing a grand tour of those areas, and I'm convinced that my memories will totally flow through. And I'm planning to do a retreat the following October, a woman's retreat, a goddess retreat in Delphi. And I know we're going to do this. So I'm sharing it all out now. But that's why I'm doing this. It's my tour of even greater initiations than I've gone through, so that I can turn around and be that angel of light that activates and awakens everyone to these next levels, how we can become initiated into our gifts, initiated into mastery. That's what I do now.
Wow. So most of the places that you have described, I have always had an affinity for. Once I went to get my first master's and learned all about Crete and, where writing was sort of, cuneiform writing was, and then some of the places in Greece that really resonated. And then recently, not sure if you've seen it, but there have been 2 shows on Netflix. One of them is called Unknown, and it was about the pyramid that's underneath the ground in Egypt, and the architect, and not the archaeologist that found and was able to go down, and they found 4,500-year-old mummies. And then there was another one they just had on, and it was actually in Africa. They found a cave with bones in it, and it was another form of Homo sapiens, so to speak. It was called the Homo naledi. And every time I see those things, it brings me the feeling that I have, just reawakened to all this knowledge that I have had, but just didn't realize. So how fascinating. That's great. I love that. Oh, so I want to know all about these beautiful paintings. I want to know about your 33 angels in 30 days. Are you a painter as well, or is this channeled?
So when I was a young girl, my brother and my mother came to me and said, Joan, you should never consider yourself an artist. You are a bookkeeper or a teacher. Okay. My dad would only send me to school to be an elementary school teacher.
Yep.
This is a true story.
That was a paradigm.
So I never thought I had any talent, but Halloween 2013, I had a painting party for my friends because I had dabbled in some painting. I always loved to paint angels for some reason. But I'll tell you the truth, one of my girlfriends tried to stop me from painting. She said, Joan, they all look like penis angels. Like, I shouldn't say that word, but I was so embarrassed.
It's fine.
I told her I'd be real. And so it's one of my dear friends, Kathy. She said, they look like penis angels. You really, I don't know what you're doing. So I was a little shy about painting. And then it was Halloween and I had all these art supplies. So we had a party and I said, let's paint. And I heard this voice said, paint 33 angels in 30 days.
Sorry.
And so, and this is important, guys, because they said paint 33 angels in 30 days. So what's the first thing you say when you hear that? 33 canvases. What are they going to smell? What a mess. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And then I heard it again. And it was like, I don't even do eyes, guys. I'm a primitive painter. I paint penis angels. What are you kidding me? I'm saying this almost out loud.
Oh.
And then they asked me a third time. So guys, if you really make your angels and guides ask you 3 times, you have to say yes, because otherwise it puts you on a bad path or not on there's no bad path, excuse me.
Right.
If you want to be on the blissful path and really feel aligned with your destiny, saying yes is important. So I said yes. And there was a whirl, and for 30 days, I was in an outer space kind of. I painted upside down paintings. I had my eyes closed painting. I was transformed. And when I put them on, I lived in a loft in a penthouse in LA. And when I got them on, I took over the loft and to an angel loft. And the first thing that happened is a book by Solara Henri that I had never read. Really. I glanced at it. It fell off my bookshelf. And it was open to a page that said, your call for angelic assistance has been heard. And I have chills as I tell you this.
Yeah.
And then I guess a day or two later, the book fell back off again. And it said, to be one of the chosen ones. And this is important. You must choose. You must choose and you must say yes, because they told me that this call went out to maybe 1 million. Who knows how many people the call goes out to?
Right.
But it's only the ones that say yes, that if you get the call and you don't say yes, then that path gets shut down for you.
Sure.
And I had gotten the call years before and I went on a different path. And I had a reading with a palm reader shortly after this. And he looked at my palm. He said, did you know you were supposed to already be famous? You were supposed to be that healer already, that one who inspires millions of people. But you blew it. This is what he said to me. You blew it. And that was shortly after I began painting. And so then I made up my mind that I'm going to do whatever I can to say yes. And so when they called me to the desert so I could hear, I said, okay. And I found a place that very night in the desert. And I moved to the desert where I spent 7 years in isolation, basically in isolation. But the second day I got there, a friend calls and says, I want you to meet one of my friends. And we go out for breakfast. You always want to meet new people when you move.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was a woman who became a dear friend of mine, Robin, but we're sitting at this table and she looks at me like this. She said, what did you say your name was? And so I start to say Dr. Joan Hangarter, that was my name. She said, what did you say your name was? And I said, well, it's Joan. And she goes like this. To stop me. And she says in a loud voice, well, I think it's a loud voice. Now the restaurant went dead quiet in my head. Okay, I heard nothing outside of me. She said, I know who you are. And then she goes, you're Joan of, I thought she was going to say Ark. I was sort of mortified, scared. And she said, you're Joan of Angels. And the bells went off. The Hallelujah chorus went off. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, because it so resonated with me.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
And then I knew that it would confirm that the desert was where I was supposed to be. So when Neil came along last year, August 14th last year, and he said, Joan, put everything in storage, come to, I had no idea. And so I don't have a home, guys. All my art is in Palm Springs in a storage
Okay.
unit, temperature controlled. Thank you, God. And I haven't seen it for a year. And looks like I'll be traveling for another possible year.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not sure. I still haven't had a call on where I want to settle now.
Sure.
I just don't know. But I know that wherever I go, I am now here activating people,
Right.
even in the restaurants, or activating people, because that's what I do. I'm an angel of light, an activator.
Right.
And
beautiful.
I'm embracing that. And I am calling all of you to step into your power, to start recalling your memories, because, especially if you like me, then you're part of my angel brigade that goes around the planet spreading miracles across this world.
Absolutely. And we all need it so desperately. First of all, we need to know that we can empower ourselves, but we also need to help by uplifting and empowering others. And, your work is very empowering. If you can be in a room or on a show or with a group of people and know that light is spreading through, and that we're all sort of meeting above,
Right?
Beautiful.
And all of our guides and angels are with us. So this is a huge crowd, guys, because all of your team is with us. And so the art is encoded with special energies that uplift. I used to do this on stage when I'd muscle test people.
Yes.
And I'd show their frequency, like maybe they were 3 out of 10 frequency. They'd raise it, I'd have everyone close their eyes. And anyway, I'd call them up to stage and they'd be 3 out of 10. So I'd have the audience send them the vibration of being a 10. And the next time I'd muscle test them, they'd be a 10. But then I'd have the audience then turn, or I'd have people then come up who are a 10, and we'd shut off their energy.
Right.
And then we turn it back on. But when the people come up very low frequency, I'd also show them that the art, so if they held a piece of art in their arms, or they wore one of my scarves, they became a 10, and no one could shut off their energy. The audience couldn't turn it off. And the audience, believe me, they were trying, because, who knows what they thought of me.
Right. Yeah.
But so that's the kind of art it is. It actually activates you.
Yes.
In fact, my friend said I should call them arctivations.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a tongue twister, but and I do what I call cosmic soul essence portraits, which would be a portrait of you in your highest frequency, what you look like and how you carry yourself in this divine celestial realm or starseed realm.
Yeah. Gosh. And
so that's what I do.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's very interesting. I've always known about muscle testing, of course, being married to a chiropractor. But then I've read a lot of the doctor that wrote, what is it, You and Me, or You and Me and Us, or I've read a lot of his stuff. David, can't think of his name. Sorry. Anyway, I have seen people that have been empowered with their muscle by bringing up something really positive, and then saying something just like poverty or sadness, and then their muscle testing went way down. But you're saying basically that it wasn't able to happen, even with this whole group of people.
Large audiences sending negative vibrations. And I apologize to the poor volunteer up here, you know, we'll take care of you, don't worry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to tell people to send negative energy, because we are being bombarded
We
by
are.
lower frequency. You walk out to the supermarket and you're being bombarded. If you're an empath and you go
Right.
to the mall, you're picking up the fight that the last people who walked by had.
I
And so
know.
we're constantly being bombarded by lower vibrations, and it is our responsibility to raise our own frequency. And that's why one of the things I do is wing fluffing. I actually have clients that we do wing fluffing sessions where I
Uh-huh.
teach you how to feel the presence of the angelic ones and how to really feel that power. And as a matter of fact, if you all take this position with me, probably Ali already knows the scapula is also called wings. So we
Yes.
already have the precursor to wings.
Mm-hmm.
And if any of you are like me, you might have had past lives where you were burned at the stake for being you, or
Yeah.
thrown off a pyramid, like I remember, or drowning, or
Mm-hmm.
not very
Mm-hmm.
pleasant deaths. Okay.
Not pleasant. Right.
And the net result is that your wings folded up and were put in a cabinet, where they went moldy and grew mold. I mean, honestly.
Uh-huh.
So we take them out, we spread them out so you can feel how you can feel them again.
Yeah.
And as you do that, and then you learn how to walk in the world with these wings. It's
Mm-hmm.
I had a client last week who was a healer, and I could tell she was depressed. I could just feel her energy.
Yeah.
And by the time we were done, she remembered her skills, her power, and what she brought to the world, because we all need rebooting at some point
Yeah, we do.
from this
Yeah.
this universal trauma that we as angelic beings experienced. And I was told, when I realized that I was also an essence of Joan of Arc, and I was kind of scared about coming out. I was like, oh my God, is this going to happen again? And my
Mm-hmm.
guides had assured us that this lifetime, you will spread your wings, everyone. You will be able to step into your skills as an empath and an intuitive and as an angelic celestial being who has come here with a mission to serve.
Yeah.
You each have your own mission. And when you awaken to that, then we're going to be more powerful than ever and spread miracles everywhere.
Everywhere. That's beautiful. I love that. Um, Question. Ancestral healing is something that has always been there, but or always been available to us, but maybe it's come out more where people are talking about healing back and forth up the ancestral line. And I'm assuming also healing past life trauma. Is that something that happens as well when people work directly with the angels, or have you seen that?
Well, I have seen that. So, you know, I don't know about you, but I had a very traumatic background. I ran
Mm-hmm.
away at the age of 3,
Oh
and
my.
I hid in closets most of my life. And that's why it's taken me so long to integrate
Sure.
being a walk in. I was a walk in from a very young age. I mean, I knew things that I shouldn't know, but
Mm-hmm.
I was hiding in closets and under beds, and I didn't want to come out. And even 7 years ago, I'd have a battle with myself. It's like, oh my God, I promised to do a show. Oh my God, what is wrong with me? So it's not easy.
No.
And
Yeah.
what one of the things I realized is that I have some of this because of a lot of this trauma we have collectively of
Mm-hmm.
those tortures, of the torturous lifetimes, but also because of my parents. And I learned to look at my parents' energy and trace that back. My
Mm-hmm.
dad came from a family in the Ukraine and had been subject to
Oh,
torture and pogroms. And there's stories of my great grandmother hiding them in the oven to protect
oh
them
my. Oh,
the
yeah.
peasants that were coming to kill them. And
Mm-hmm.
even on my mother's side, all of this other trauma and personal trauma. And our ancestors, even our grandparents and parents had hard lives, many of
Yes, they
them.
did.
We
They
do
did.
not live on an easy planet. This was a tough assignment, my friends, when you
It
said yes,
was. Yeah.
right? Tough
Yes.
assignment. This is not an easy place to be.
Right.
And I,
Right.
I admire you all for saying yes. You were chosen. By the way, not everyone who volunteered got to come down here. You were personally screened. you were selected out of that group who wanted to come because they knew that this lifetime you have what it takes to make it happen.
Wow.
You
That's
literally
amazing.
have what it takes to be part of this ascension awakening,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to fail. So don't worry about it, because you wouldn't
Uh-huh.
have been chosen to come down, or they would have taken you off already. That the pandemic would have
Right.
taken you out.
Sure. Yeah. I think
And
about that
so,
a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah. And,
Wow.
and actually, I wished I'd had a practice during the pandemic, because I believe chiropractic would have been the one of, because the chiropractic healed people in the early 1900s in
It
that
did.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
people, they threw all the chiropractors in jail, and people stood in line to visit the chiropractors to get in the jail, and the prison guards too, so that
Yep.
they could actually recover from the flu then.
Yep. Yep. I believe it. And of course, Edgar Casey was a big person that my husband followed before he decided to do what he was supposed to do. But he's trying to heal from his past because he came from a very racist family, and he didn't even realize it until really just how racist it was until recently. So, but wow, what beautiful things that you're saying. I know that I was meant to be here because my mother was told not to have any more children after my first brother. My second brother came along, and the doctor said, "You will die if you have another child." And I came along about 9 years later, and I know that, and I don't even, they looked at each other and said, when did this, when did this all happen? So to speak, and so and I think all of us have that kind of situation where, we've either come through something in our childhood that's brought us through, or we just kind of eke in, if we can, to somebody's womb in order to get here. And so it makes a lot of sense what you've
We're
said.
determined. But I have a theory about that too. And
Okay.
so we all came down here with skills,
Yeah.
with superpowers, by the way, like a clipboard. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, here's your assignment, Allie, and all the skills you need are right here. But it's going to
Mhm.
be a matter of, it's like a game. The dark plays with us too. It's like a game. Who's
Yeah.
going to win? And
Yeah.
and your soul plan is kind of written what you're here to do. And so the angelic realm knows it, your higher self knows it, but also the opposition knows it. And
Mhm.
so they
Mhm.
create a plan to stop you. And it could be your parents, it
Yeah.
could be your family, it could be your friends, it could be your partner, your lover, your work,
Mhm.
designed deliberately to knock you off path. But what
Sure.
it does for many of us, it makes us stronger.
Yeah.
And so it's a game until you actually go, oh my God, I'm better than this. And you
Yeah.
step into, and you start to gather and recollect those superpowers you have. And we all have those superpowers. All of you do,
We
because I
do.
can feel it. And it's
Yeah.
time for you to stop being shy about it, and to say, wow, what if I have superpowers? What if I have those gifts? What if I can actually live this expression of me that I know to be true?
Mhm.
And understand that the trauma, yes, it was, listen, I hid in a closet. I ran away at 3. Okay. It wasn't a great life either. Let me
Right.
shut that off. But know that was designed by the opposing forces to knock you off your game, so you
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. Because if
Mhm.
all of us light people remembered, then
Mhm.
we were already hit, the ascension plateau.
That's very true. And I know that most of us are wounded healers, that that are meant to be here and show that you can be wounded and still be walking and still be bringing in the light, and that sometimes that actually makes you stronger because you've come through that healing before.
And that's so brilliant. And then you heal the wounds, and you become a powerful and gifted healer, because you
Yeah.
remember what that was like. And then you're here to help awaken the
Uh-huh.
others from like that state of sleep that they're in.
That
It's a
they're in.
wonderful mission for all of you.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I know that people are anxious to have you do a little bit of your magic with them. And so I've got some people that are lined up here, but I have to tell you that I don't know, just for logistical purposes, how many we'll be able to get to. There's quite a number of them, but we'll see what we can do and go from there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can do it one of two ways.
Okay.
I mean, I'm feeling a lot of energy about reminding people who they are.
Okay.
And I love to have people's birthdays. If you give me
Okay.
but
Okay.
on the fly, I have trouble adding up the numbers. So
Okay. So you need me to do that. That's
I
fine.
need you to add up the numbers for me.
That's fine. All right.
But
So
what they're telling me is that if you could add 2023 to it, so the month, the
okay.
day, and 2023, and then but I like to add it horizontally across,
Yep.
and then you can give me, like, if it's 36, you say 36.9, and that's their message for today. And
Okay.
it'll help me tune in. It's kind of like, that's how I do it. I have
Okay.
a file cabinet that they send me to. Oh, there it is.
There's
Okay.
1. So we got 7 plus 8 is 15. Plus 7 is
Okay, I added it up faster than you.
you did.
Because I'm
Okay.
adding it up. Okay, so I'm adding
All
it
right.
up across with 2023 to look at it for today. And
Okay.
so Juanita, you're in a 22 year. A 22 year is, first of all, it's a soul destiny year, meaning that it's a past life. It's bringing your past lives into the present. It's a master number. And it's all about learning how to handle boundaries, learning how to say yes learning how to say no instead of yes. Now, I don't mean no to your guides. I mean no to humans who are demanding your time, your energy, your money, wanting to take from you in that kind of way, draining your energetic resources, Juanita, because this is the year for you to build a solid foundation, to create a framework for this part of your life, a framework for your business or your career or your home. So the lessons to be learned for you this year, and the opposite, it would be that everything falls apart. Your home falls apart, your career falls apart. So, but this is the year to build it. And you build it by conserving your resources and not allowing people to drain you. Now, it's also a year of tremendous service because twos are into service and giving and sharing, but not to the point. You've all seen people that give so much they're like a basket case.
Yeah.
And then they become victims. So it's not about becoming a victim. And we encourage you to use your own gifts now and to really reach out to Allie, or reach out to myself and really build your inner confidence, to build up your framework. Oh yeah, and protection is also very important for you. Make sure you work on protecting your energy, and that's for everyone. Really, the energy out there is destructive to you.
Wow.
I hope that helps, Juanita.
Well, thank you. Next one is Mary Thornberry, and I have here that she's a 12 or 3. If you reduce it to that, do you reduce it to that?
It's a 12. Okay.
12.
And I do want to say that if I've helped you or it seems to be aligned, I always love, okay, Juanita says that resonates. Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Confirmation.
Give feedback. Yeah.
Anyone who's an intuitive loves confirmation because, it's so etheric. You go, oh my God, where did that come from? Like,
I know.
Say. And then
plus you don't remember it all the time. Yeah, you don't remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it added up to a 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 12. A 12, 3. So, threes are all about communication and expression. And when you're in a 3 year, it can become very chaotic, very energetic. And it could be a year you find yourself teaching or really beginning artistic, creative talents. But in order to do this year effectively, and it began with your birthday, by the way, it's a year process, but in order to do it effectively, Mary, it's good to start increasing your personal power, your sense of who you are, your sense of what your goals are and your visions are. Personal power is very important, not to give it away. And that means leadership. That means maybe starting a new business or a new energy. I guess it means believing in yourself and then setting boundaries so that no one attacks you and says, who are you to think you could do that? Or, or someone who wants to take your time and energy when you know you should be creating. So it's about saying no and really getting into your creation phase, because what you have to give to the world, Mary, is very, very powerful. It's really a matter of believing in yourself and holding to that and learning how to fluff your wings, by the way, and showing up as this being of light wherever you are, so no one could push you off your game.
Wow. Mary is a huge light holder for her area. Very much.
Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. And it's so nice to meet you all. I'm honored that you want these little mini readings. Yes,
Yeah,
I hope it's helping.
Well, we appreciate you wanting to give them to us. So Elizabeth is a 14 or a 5, I guess.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, first of all, the name Elizabeth means gift of God. Well, no, it actually means house of God. Joan means gift of God, but my middle name is Beth, so I know all about it. Elizabeth means God lives within you. You are a home for the godlike energies, the divine. It's in everything that you do, and not to forget that. You're in a year of also leadership and personal power, awakening to really how strong you are. And personal power, one of the things I like to say about it is too, is like, imagine you have Archangel Michael's in your sword. Archangel Michael's sword in your hand, and that he's with you, and that your job is to cut away anything that gets in your way of achieving your dreams or stepping forward. And so it's a year of bold steps. It's a year of again building a foundation, but not a foundation that binds you, because it's a year of freedom. So from your birthday till next year, the freedom to sing your song, your soul song, the freedom to hear your heart singing is the biggest freedom on the planet, unrestricted. Now, what will happen, the opposite of freedom, is restriction. So anytime you see something restricting you or binding you or holding you back, use Archangel Michael's sword and cut it away, because it's only a challenge that you're supposed to break free from. Don't let it restrict you this year. Go for it, because I see that you're a powerhouse, love. Oh, powerhouse. Didn't I say you're a house? House of power.
House of power. How beautiful. All right. So we have Hypnicity, whose real name is Nalani, and her number is a 20 or a 2.
Yes. Okay. Well, then that's really clear, honey. So first of all, I love that name, Hip. Like hip and city, it's like, that means being trendy and cutting edge and having like a little flair and pizzazz around you. And the number 2 is all about believing in yourself, setting boundaries for yourself, trusting in your own decisions, not being afraid to speak up for yourself. So many women, all of us really, that have been born with this, like I call it, a cork in your throat chakra, because of the male patriarchy. And so imagine that they stuck a cork in your throat chakra, so you shouldn't speak your truth. And one of the biggest things for women in our generation here and in our society is really learning how to speak from the heart, our truth, and being able to state what we mean. And that means saying yes when we mean yes, and knowing no. Now, a lot of us don't know how to do that. So it's really learning the art of discernment, so you can choose wisely where you give your time and energy to. If you should learn to handle your boundaries and manage them and still be of service, because, your energy this year is about service and giving, but not as a victim. Anything you give as a victim or that you're forced to do is not pure and of low frequency. So knowing that, but really honoring your ability to both give and receive, but do it from, so confidence is what you lack. So know that this is a lesson for you this lifetime, that was designed to keep you from expressing who you are. Now that should piss you off. Like, meaning, Joan, do you really mean that there's a group or entities that actually do not want me to be the light being that I am? And I'm going to tell you yes. And I'm telling you that, so it should piss you off enough to say, well, screw that. I'm going to start speaking up. I'm going to start being confident because I came here. My sole purpose has been known to everyone. And that's why, there's been attacks against me. But I kind of think it pisses me off that I could have been far more powerful at a younger age if I hadn't had all that adversity that was designed to keep me in a closet.
Uh-huh.
So I hope that helps you, because you were meant to be hip, just so you know. You were meant to be hip. You were meant to be edgy and trendy and hot and vivacious. And own it, own it, own it.
That's awesome. So this is Seascape, and Seascape's number is 22-4. Wow, master number, right?
You sure?
5.
Oh yeah,
well,
I told you I can't add. Wait.
Okay. 7 and 9 is 15 plus 7 is 22.
Right. So this is the last one we're going to do from the numbers. So was it a 23? Because I keep getting 7, 9, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. You're in a 23 year.
Okay.
So a 23 year is extremely powerful. It's different than a 14-5 year that we had before. A 23 year again. So every reading has to do with this issue of listening to your heart and following your own intuitive guidance, learning discernment, and learning how to differentiate between what's good for you and what's not, and saying goodbye to people who abuse us, saying goodbye to people who want to, disparage you or lower your frequency. So for you, it is about raising your frequency so that you can actually hear your heart sing, hear your soul sing, and do what you came here to do. You have a soul song that's singing out for freedom. And this is about really stepping in. And for all of you, stepping in is not about your ego. It really is about you have a gift. You have tools that are part of this collective that we need. You were sent here for a reason. You said yes for a reason. And if you're afraid to use those gifts, then planet Earth and the rest of us are suffering because it's like an orchestra. So if we imagine all of you light workers as part of this symphony, but half of you are afraid to sing or play your instrument, then we're not as powerful collectively as we can be. Now, if we had millions of miracle makers who believed in themselves and worked together to collectively spread miracles across this planet, can you imagine what our Earth would be like today?
Yeah. Wow. Just think so the Earth would be even flying higher, I tell you.
That's right. And the evil would be eradicated because, evil can't exist where the light is so strong.
That's right.
So Seascape, your message is do it. Do it. Yep. Stop hiding in the closet because not only are you lowering your frequency by that, but you're actually impacting the rest of us because you're one of those instruments that might not be playing in the orchestra with us.
Oh, and you were assigned in the symphony.
Orchestra, the symphony. You're supposed to be here with us singing your song. And I don't want to be more powerful than you this life. I want us, I'm an orchestra leader. And I want a really good orchestra, and all of you are part of that. You all have an instrument. You are an instrument of light, and it's time to release it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now we're going to switch the cards.
Okay, going to switch to cards. All right. So let's see. I'm going to put up the next person that was in line here.
Are you having fun, guys? Do you like this?
I think they're just blown away, honestly.
I'm here to tell you to wake up and say yes to this destiny. Come on. We don't have a lot of time until 2030. And if you've noticed, there's a lot of hardships coming.
Yeah.
And the way through that is to collectively work together to raise this frequency so high that we all start ascending,
Uh-huh.
do on that ascension timeline so that we can collectively raise the frequency of the earth. I'm not here to do it alone. And I
Right.
was told that I can't leave until I've raised the vibrational frequency of each and every one of you who has raised your hand and came here for that, to cut the cords that are binding you so that we can do this together and we tune up your instrument. Okay? Tune up that instrument.
Absolutely.
So say yes.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay, an
Good.
angel reading, Patricia.
Hmm.
I love the name Patricia. Allie, this is great. Do you do this all the time?
Pretty much. I've been on here on YouTube for, I came here to mostly interview people. And then I was able to release some of my own gifts. And so I do some card readings but I'm a community builder. So that's probably what my title is at this point. Yeah.
Oh, so you came down here to build communities of light leaders.
Yeah.
And kind of shake them loose a bit.
Encourage and empower other people. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Encourage and empower. Do you want to share your birthday before we do Patricia?
Okay. Mine's September 29th.
Okay,
So
9, 10, 11.
18 plus 2.
And that's
20. 19,
so you're 27/9 this year.
Okay.
And that is all about spiritual mastery. It's all about shining your light no matter what happens.
Uh-huh.
Which sometimes, you know how you want to, your first thing is to freak out. But no, your job is how you handle it and raising your light. And then this is a year of letting go of what stops you.
Yep.
Letting go of everything. So by the time your birthday happens next year, September, so this is going to start with your birthday.
With my birthday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then September 2024, it's a 1 year. And 1 year
all
is
brand new. Yeah.
All brand new. You'll probably be a lot stronger energetically and a lot clearer on the directions you're taking, and your work will hit a stride. It'll hit a higher frequency.
That's great.
And that would be very blessed because I could already feel you have a beautiful energy. It's an honor to be on your show.
Thank you so much. I finally made the decision to retire from college teaching, and it will be in the summer of 24. So I can see why a new
beginnings. Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're letting go of that. And so can I ask what you teach?
I teach the humanities and also English writing and literature. So, I'm very much upset with this new AI and how people are going to be able to have everything done for another form of plagiarism is how I see it. And I've done it 25 years. And I said, I think I'm just going to do my teaching spiritually now. So,
and you may have a good book for us.
Uh-huh.
I feel like you have a book inside of you, and we have a lot to look forward to. But this is that year of being that spiritual master, and being like a tower of light. Even if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or a student pisses you off, or the system probably is going to piss you off a lot this year, but rising above that, hon. Okay, so now I'm coming back to our friend Patricia.
Yes.
And Patricia, I decided to pull cards, give my math a break, and I bought a new deck in downtown London the other day. I'm in London. That's crazy, but I'm now in London. And this is by one of my favorite oracles, Colette Baron.
I like her too. Yep.
And she's got a whole bunch of new decks that are very different from her old decks, very powerful. And this is the Dreamweaver's Oracle. And okay, this couldn't be any better. Okay, let's see. Do I have to turn my screen off for you guys? I don't want to turn my screen off. It says, let your dreams be woven true. Now, I don't know how clear that could be, but allow, and this is for everyone, including Patricia, including Allie, the dreams that you have about why you're here are more true than the logical mind that argues with it. And it says, let your dreams be woven into reality. So all those visions that you've had, all those thoughts about, wow, what if I do this and this? They're to be woven together, because it's not just one dream, it's that whole compendium of that, so that you can become authentically you. And this is the time. If not now, guys, when is it going to happen? There's a move to shutting people down right now. Like if not now, we need you now. That's really the best way I can say it. We need you now. Oh, look, Pure Visionary said, woohoo, Allie. And wait, congratulations, Allie. So
Thank you.
all your friends who love you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. What was I going to say about? Oh, we have, by the way, we have a dream show that we do once a week on Wednesday nights, where people come and talk about their dreams, and we analyze them with our experts. However, we also say it's really you that knows the real meaning of your dreams. But I think it just, you even bringing it up or having that card just reminds me how important it is, because it is a reality and it has a truth to it. And we just have to know how to integrate it and also understand it. So that's beautiful.
Right. Yeah. And guys, these are just mini readings, little glimpses of maybe things that are in your way. A light worker. Well, number one, you already call yourself like the A class. All right. A, B, C, D, you're class A light worker. And your true work is to remember who you are and to learn how to raise your light, no matter what, no matter where you're being sent, no matter, whether you're the janitor, or the housekeeper, or whether you're the CEO of the company. Your true work is to be a light carrier wherever you go.
Right.
To go into Starbucks and have such a high vibration that they can't wait to give you your coffee. In fact, but they don't want you to leave. And the people in line around you go, who is that? What is that energy that I'm feeling? So your true light, your true worker, your true work as a light being, a being of light, is to remember who you are and to align your career with those memories. The key to finding your real soul mission is to find what makes your heart sing. Like we know Allie's shows make her heart sing. It's probably obvious that my heart is singing so loud, I think you probably hear it. But when you do that, then you're not working anymore. Even if you have long nights, and I work 24/7 sometimes. I am fanatic. I'm getting my new art out in the world and my portraits for people, which will awaken them. My art awakens people. So, you can see some of it on the website. It'll send you to Etsy. That's not even the half of what I have. And I have about 3,000 pieces of art, digital art, but I'm curating it for the best. But
wonderful.
But my message to you, okay, so remember I said a light worker, that you are, a light worker, a pure light worker. You clear your field to be that. But it says all the diamonds in the sky. And so your career, hon, it should align with what makes your heart sing. Or, and especially if you're younger, then it's important to build a financial base. But the closer you can get to feeling like, oh my God, I love what I'm doing. I resonate with it. I'm passionate. I don't mind waking up early and going to bed late because, oh my God, I'm ecstatic about my impact, because you're meant to have an impact on the world. So limitless possibilities happen for you right now, limitless potential, and moving out of limiting beliefs. Okay, well, that's your clue. Move out of limiting careers and beliefs, reach for the stars, and then trust that you will reach it.
Excellent. That's fabulous. So we have Sonia Pinola, and everybody loves her. She's sort of got, she's got the light there that she's holding. It's probably, I don't know if it's her cell phone or what, but it just lights her right up, and I love her avatar because of it.
Oh, I thought you were saying you can see her light shining.
Oh, no, just in the avatar. Sorry, I'm not as good as you yet, Joan.
Well, I'm picturing that she's so bright that you
Uh-huh.
feel her
That I can
energy.
see her energy coming through. Yeah. Yeah.
And you
That's
probably do, because that was the picture that I was shown, actually, that
okay.
you can feel her energy through her avatar. So
Yes.
already we have a beautiful soul that
Hmm.
is not afraid to shine the light. And that's a soul memory. And that is the first thing I teach people, is to start remembering why you're here, your past life memories, your visions that you have, to collect them, and you'll put together, you'll see. I kind of remember that as a young girl, I used to see beings in the paintings in the house. Well, now I create art with beings in it. Isn't that funny? I never thought of that, but that's true. But in those days, I would lay in bed. I was 4 or 5, and my eyesight was bad. So, when you don't look at something directly, you can see shadows. And I used to see beings, and I would find myself in the painting. They'd be holding my hand and talking to me.
Wow.
And so I always had a lot of those experiences. I didn't know what they were.
Uh-huh.
And then I hear things, and now I say yes to the things I hear,
Hmm.
because I know where it's coming from, like that voice that said go to chiropractic school.
Sure. Yeah. You
So
listened. Yeah.
yeah, and it's about listening. So a message
Hmm.
from your angels. Well, Sonia, they do tell me that they actually give you lots of messages, maybe through songs that come through, and it's a
Hmm.
matter of you actually saying, oh, that one's really true. Now, a lot of people get messages and they go, oh, do you think that song was meant for me? Or that song is the answer to my question? And then they go, well, you know, and they don't believe it. But you're to believe that those messages you get on the radio are truly meant for you,
Uh-huh.
because your angels are talking, and they're talking to all of us, by the way. And we're so busy saying, oh, isn't that weird? Or I don't, or you have a brilliant idea, and then your best friend says, what are you, crazy?
Yeah. Let's cut it
Normal
right
people
off
don't
right
do
now.
that.
Yeah. Oh my
Normal
God. Yes.
people don't do that. And so,
Yeah.
Sonia, the message I'm hearing, I guess the reason I'm telling you all this, is that you are supposed to listen directly from your angels and listen to your gut and your intuition, because that will never be wrong.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, oh yeah, so this is the perfect card for you. I pulled the card. It says, could it be a dragonfly? Well, if you see, and a dragonfly comes with messages, or
Hmm.
maybe it's a butterfly, maybe you're thinking about something and a butterfly shows up. And so, could it be a message for me? It's just what I'm talking about. When I was like 23, my dad died. And my
Oh.
dad was not spiritual. Because of him,
Mhm.
I hid in closets. I was so
Okay.
shy that if you had told me at 23 that I would be, healing and inspiring around the world, I probably would have cried, because
Hmm.
I was too shy.
Right.
But dad died, and my sister and I came home from the funeral, and we went outside the house, and there were 500 butterflies, plus or minus, surrounding us.
Oh
Now,
my.
maybe we used to see one butterfly or two, and
Right.
my sister and I turned to each other, and we didn't believe in any of this stuff. And I don't know if it was my sister or I that said, oh my God, do you think that's like dad or something? Like, where did these butterflies come from? And so the meaning of the card is, if you have that feeling of, do you think it could be my mother? Do you think it's a message for me? Well,
Hmm.
I'm here to tell you it is. And that is your message, honey. Listen to
Okay.
it.
Listen to the
You're
message.
getting messages all the time. I mean, and later on, I found out that butterflies are a sign that your loved one is there with you. And it was the most, I can see, when I shut my eyes, I can see, and all those butterflies that were there. Yeah.
She has them all over her house, decorated, and also
Oh,
a dragonfly. Wow.
well, that message is for you, love.
It
That
is
message,
definitely for
all of you
Sonia.
guys are so powerful. So we have
Uh-huh.
about 10 more minutes, but you guys
Yep.
are so powerful that these confirmations are coming through. So yeah, I have butterflies all around, and a dragonfly and a dragon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't
great,
that
great,
wonderful?
great, great.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so yes, we will not be able to answer all today. We, of course, can invite Joan to come back at some point, but I want you to realize that all the information in order to reach Joan is in the notes for the show, her YouTube channel link, her joanofangels.com, her Etsy, and other things. If you are wanting to contact her in any way, just make sure you know that it's all there. And please
Everything is Joan of
subscribe.
Angels.
Everything's
Everything's
Joan of Angels.
Angels. And want you guys to know that just because this new friend of mine called me Joan of Angels doesn't mean I immediately went out in the world and said, "Oh, Joan." I was still in my shy phase.
Sure,
right?
sure.
And I would be presented and I'd go, "Well, I'm Joan of." It took me a long time. I just, it took me a long time, and I'm sharing it with you because you guys are even more powerful than I am. And so, yes, go and subscribe to my
Yes.
website. Please
Thank
do.
you for doing it. Yes.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the art. Reach out in any way. I'm here to uplift you. I'm here to cut away that which is binding you from hearing the voice of your own higher self, your own angels. So that next year you'll be doing readings for
other people.
For
That's
us.
right. Yeah.
We'll be sitting back and we'll have all of you do readings for us because you're already trained.
Beautiful.
Wouldn't that be fun? That would be.
It would be. And I encourage people to do that, actually. And I'll bring them on my show and introduce them, and they'll start their own channels. And we need more and more light workers out there doing the work.
Yes.
It's so vitally important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think that just because other people are doing it that you're not going to be heard, or I'm too shy to do it. When I started Miracle Monday, oh my God, a dear friend of mine died the day that I actually initiated my show, Miracle Monday. Okay. And I just, it's like, what am I going to talk about? And I didn't want to do the show because a dear friend of mine had died on his way to my house. I mean, he was supposed to come to my house. He didn't show up. So I was really,
wow.
Really mortified. I didn't know at that time he had died, but I knew something was wrong because he didn't show up. And then I just closed my eyes. And, first of all, I'm not supposed to do Miracle Monday for me, even though it made me feel good. I had a tribe out there who needed it. But also, I felt Brian in my hallway emulating Archangel Michael. He had two swords like this. And he said, "You ain't going back to the closet." And for the first year, whenever I did a show every Monday, he would be standing guard in the hallway so I could not run away.
Wow.
And, I don't mind sharing my vulnerabilities because I know that all of you can relate. I mean, of course. You can't relate to like going, oh my God, I have to, how can I go out there and say miracles or all of this? Or I'm Joan of Angels. Now, in 2020, my guides, I was starting to think maybe I should fall apart like everyone else is. And I got a little angel slap from my guides like this, okay? And they said to me, you think you're the only Joan of Angels on the planet. I said, yeah. And then they said, but you came here to do a mission. And if you are not going to do that mission, there's about 10,000 people who we can call on who will say yes. And I sat there, and it took me about 2 seconds to shift my attitude. Okay, I shifted my attitude because I didn't want to be displaced. And then I trained myself to be confident. I trained myself to say yes because I didn't want anyone else to take over. So I actually, and how did I get through that? So it was summer of 2020. I decided that I was going to do 30 days. I'm a 30-day girl. 30 days of mastermind meditations. I had no idea what I was going to say. And every day at 9 a.m. for 30 days, I did these mastermind meditations. They would give me a different one every day.
Wow.
I think they're still up there, but I'm a little embarrassed. I didn't know anything about lighting or doing my hair.
Join the club. No, we all started that way.
Off the cuff. And okay, so this should be the last reading. And warrior girl, I do soul essence soul activations that raise your light. And when I come across a name like Warrior Girl, it's like you're a spiritual warrior. But I get that you need to be confident about being a spiritual warrior. You know, that the name itself is designed, because probably spirit gave it to you, to remind you every single moment that you are a spiritual warrior, that you operate at a higher level of intensity.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, I pulled the card, let your dreams be woven true. It's the second time I pulled it. So, Warrior Girl, pick up the sword, pick up Archangel Michael's swords, and anytime you have a doubt or a fear, go boom and cut through it.
Yep.
Also, I see that there are a lot of cords around you. And what are cords? Cords are designed to, again, it's like the Matrix says, well, we don't want her to be a good warrior. We want her to be a shy warrior. Right. And so the other side doesn't want you to be as powerful as you can be. Mm-hmm. So again, are you going to let them win?
No.
And that's a challenge, guys. Are you going to let the other side win because it's too much work to say yes? Or, too much work, or, who am I? All those undermining thoughts that may not even be yours, but are perfectly designed to keep you from not doing it. So, Warrior Girl, you took the name for a purpose. You took the name for a purpose. And we say, take out that sword, be the light you came here to be, cut through not only your cords, but those who come to you, who also need those cords cut, and start getting to work. And that's my bottom line message to each and every one of you. Yeah. It's not a time to be shy. If you know, they're actually planning another pandemic. I mean, this is like the weirdest of times. So are you going to let them win? Are we going to let anyone else control us in a way that we can't be who we are? We can't be those powerful beings of light. So I'm calling all of you to remember, and all of you to step up your game and use that sword, use the energy that if you listen to this 10 times or more, you will get the full power to authentically lift up your wings and lift up and step into your power.
Absolutely. Remember, you have those wings. Those are right there. They're right behind you.
Yes, and so it is. And we need you. We need you. We need your energy. We need the gifts that you specifically, that instrument that only you can play. I cannot play your instrument.
Right.
Allie can't play your instrument. We can only remind you are an instrument, that you have those tools, and then show you ways to break free.
Wonderful. Well, everybody just has really enjoyed this so much, Joan. Thank you so very much. And thank you for reading for some of our folks here today. And please go over and subscribe to Joan's channel. I also want to say Eddie Jr. and some of the others that were following from your channel, thank you also for being here and showing your light in this beautiful space. So, Joan, God bless you. Keep doing your work, and thank you.
I really adore you. I feel like this is a great energy that you've created. I've loved doing readings for all of you. And I want you to know that every reading I did was for all of you, even though it was specifically, because we all are the same. We all are part of that one unity consciousness. And so please start that job of remembering and join us as we collectively gather. I'm calling the Angel Brigade, just so you know.
Oh, I love it.
And come out of hiding, all you undercover angels, because you came here for this. You were born for this.
You were born for it. That's right. God bless. God bless you. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Joan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.